Well, basically, I thought that I said it clearly yesterday that it is him who voluntarily said that he has information about Kenyan authorities' engagement with Al-Shabaab and negotiating and doing business with Al-Shabaab and so forth. So I thought it's not even a question of being arrested. It is, if he is patriotic enough, he needs to record that statement with the DCI. And that should be the first opportunity is offered. In fact, I thought he was going to say he will tell us the time and the hour is going to arrive, and therefore DCI, prepare yourself, I'll be in your office 2 hours after I land. It should behoove him at his position of authority to present himself directly to authorities and record a statement. Not for anything else, for the record. Because if you are going to be making such allegations, it behooves you to make sure that it's on the record. And I said clearly that if you ask me increasingly, I'm not a doctor, but increasingly the utterances that come from Deputy President are pointing out to two things. Either he's a serious or a pathological liar who is looking for cheap political publicity, or is acute case of mental health, who perhaps will be unnecessary for us to spend the resources to arrest, but rather to guide him and his loved ones to take him to a mental hospital. Because, and I'm saying this really because he says one thing this man, then he jumps to another. Yeah, he will wake up and tell you that I don't know if it was true, it was him or whatever. You know, I can't keep up with his lies. At one point, he will tell you that Kenya Kwanza bought all tickets for Harambee Stars to go to the to the field. The next minute, his deputy party leader is posting pictures from inside there. In any case, we even greeted each other with him and in Kasarani. On 1 minute, he will be saying that I will, you know how he praised the, when we came to office, he announced to the whole world that the coffers were empty. When he was asked recently, he said, no, they were not empty, I lied. And he's not telling people that he lied for the first time. So if he lied that time, who tells you that he's not lying now? But to be very honest, if he was still holding office, any reasonable Kenyan would have asked for a mental assessment for his ability to lead. But now that he's out of office, it is out of compassion that I ask his loved ones to check him in for mental health. But
if I may ask, why don't you handle this thing behind the curtains? Because the utterances in public spheres causes emotional instability among the population. Why can't it be handled in a more dignified way, other than the back and forth?
I think I need to talk to his doctor to handle it in a dignified way, so that he doesn't keep making those attempts. And I thank you for that.
Harshly, as regards to stating how that if quote unquote some saying that kama kura haitaja utaiba. What do you make of such remarks coming at a time when the electioneering period is almost a year or two away? And what can the government do to ensure that both parties, those who are in the opposition as well as those who are in government or pro-government, do not clash as regards to these utterances?
Kura, wale wanasema kwamba kura isipojaa tutajaza. Ya pengine unajua sasa ukiuliza unajua wanasiasa ni wajanja. Ukiuliza utajaza namna gani atakwambia tuta campaign kwa hali ya juu sana. Simuwaisikia wale wanasema choma na taya, alafu wanasema yani weka taya ndio gari isonge. Kuna interpretations big ya mambo kama haya. Lakini nataka kuhakikishia hivi, hakuna njia nyingine mtu yoyote atashinda kura kwa Kenya. Ni njia moja pekee yake, kuomba kura na kura ipigwe na ihesabiwe. Kama ingefanywa hivyo 2022 tungekuwa ofisi, kwa sababu hatukuwa kwa serikali. So hakuna ile vitisho ya kusema kwamba tutatisha mtu yoyote kwamba hautapata. Kila mtu aombe kura yake na aombe kwa njia inayofaa. Kenya ni nchi yetu ya demokrasia, hatuwezi, tumewahi kuona kura nyingi na hakuna mtu anapotea kwa Kenya hata kama hajashinda kura. Tumewahi ona wenye walishindwa jana ndio wako serikali kuliko wenye walishinda jana. Tumeona wale walishinda jana ndio wanapiga kelele huko nje, wanalia kwamba kwa nini wale tulipigana nao ndio wako sasa serikali zaidi. So hii ni very nice. Hata wale wanatoka nje huko wanafika Kenya wanashangaa hii ni nchi gani hii tofauti namna hii. Ule mtu alikuwa anasema yeye ndio nilikuwa naangalia video nyingine hapo, ule mwenye alikuwa anasema jana, kazi yangu kwa hii serikali ni kunabeba kitabu nikipima mtu alikuwa wapi, la unaona shares yake kama ni kama sasa yeye hata ana shares. Na ule alikuwa anapimiwa sasa hako ndani. So kuna haja ya kupigana kwa sababu ya kura. Hii ni nchi ambayo iko na nafasi nyingi sana, hata ukianguka sometimes hata kuanguka ni afadhali kuliko kushinda. But relax. Security of journalists, that's a very good question. I know journalists have been attacked in the past. In Maandamano, they find themselves at the crossfire either of police officers lobbing tear gas, hurting them sometimes. I don't think it is sometimes intentionally, sometimes in the crossfire. Some cases may be intentional, or goons who are in Maandamano, or for example, when these people of DCP were launching their party, they beat journalists, but the journalists refused to report. If it was the police, they would have reported. But because it was an opposition party, they refused to report. And the bigger media houses are represented here, and they completely refused to report. And people are telling us, oh, journalists were beaten, and why are the police not taking action? The person who was beaten is not willing to report. And that failure to report actually is taking sides. Because if it was government, you would have reported. But when it is a particular political group, you don't want to report because you don't want them to be in trouble. So it is some of those things that we want consistency in the process. But journalists, like any other citizen, deserve to be protected. One way of promoting this relationship is to have continuous engagement between journalists and the National Police Service. And for the National Police Service to appreciate the role of journalists in reporting Maandamano and other incidences that they involve police operations, because there's nothing the police are trying to hide. They are trying to maintain law and order. And if you are a police officer trying to maintain law and order, there's nothing you fear if you are put on the spotlight, because you know that you are supposed to do the right thing. On the question of the justice for them, where there are cases involving police service, I think it is incumbent upon us to be also alerted so that we can push for a just process.